And I'm grateful for it. No a question about that. And also, sometimes I eat things that need God's blessing. God, I ask that you would make this food good to the nourishing of my body. Paco does too. He eats some things that are just, oh. And so he needs to pray for his food as well. But we don't need to pray in front of men. Right? Yeah, all right. Now, let's just look through this evening. Here's one that I think summarizes the rest of these sins that would keep us out of the will of God. And not only summarizes the rest of them, I think that just as well, it's the one that really gets us. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. Now, this is literal. It's literal. Treasures, things that are valuable. This is a literal thing. Literally, if a person were to lay up gold or silver or precious stones or valuable things, literally those things can be corrupted by moth or rust or theft. Diamonds are forever or until they get stolen. Gold has value in every country, regardless of the economic strengths and weaknesses, unless it gets stolen. And the point is that anything in this life that does not go to heaven with you when you go can lose its value. And so it's literal, but there's more to it than that, because treasures are anything that have value. Treasure is anything that has value. You ever take something and make it valuable? It's fun to do with teenagers. I like to make things valuable. When I was a teenager, I don't know if I should tell this. You might make fun of me. Oh, you can make fun of me if you want to. When I was a teenager, we used to do a lot of road trips in our Christian school. A lot of road trips. I mean, long distances. We did a junior-senior trip that was 3 weeks long. We went to see just about most of the Christian colleges in the nation. We went all the way into Florida. We went up through South Carolina, went to Wisconsin. We also stopped by Washington, D.C. and Philadelphia and New York City and the Niagara Falls and some things like that on that trip. Every year we would go to national competitions in academics and music and fine arts and that sort of thing. And that would be long trips. And we would do sports tournaments and all those sort of things. We always were going somewhere in the small Christian school that I attended in high school. And one of the things that became a fad, and I don't remember why, was to take stuffed animals with us on the church van. And every teenager, Devin, do you have a stuffed animal you take around with you?
No.
You don't have any, not a single one in your room?
No.
Daniel, you check on that and get back to us, okay? Okay, all right. All right, so we would take a stuffed animal, and I had this monkey that was a little fat thing, and it had a banana in both hands. And I named it something. I don't have it anymore, in case you're wondering. I don't know. I wonder where it is. Anyway, I don't have it anymore, and I think his banana got ripped off. But that was mine, and I didn't let anybody touch it. And I only brought it along just so I could say, don't touch it. You can't mess with it. Somebody say, oh, let me see your monkey. No! And I wouldn't let him touch it. Anyway, this is silly. But it became a big thing. And everybody's like, oh, they try to steal it. You know, if I set it down somewhere, somebody tried to sneak it, and then they'd hide it and hold it ransom and kidnapping. It had value. The stupid monkey had value, and it wasn't worth anything. When we worked in summer day camp, my wife and I, there was one teenage boy that every summer, everybody, like, she knows what I'm going to say, she knows about this, every summer, everybody stole his hat. And he always had nice hats. and somebody grab his hat, and that's what they did the whole time. If there was any free time, like lunchtime or in the middle of evening activity, they'd grab his hat, and everybody'd pass it around, race around. He'd chase around trying to get his hat. And, he's a teenage boy. Who wants a hat off a teenage boy? There was no monetary value in it, but it had value to him and to the people that stole it. Do you understand what I'm saying this evening? Insignificant things can have value to us. Things that aren't money can have value to us. And the way to know what you value is to look at what your heart values. Now, how does your heart value something? Well, what do you spend your time thinking about? Relationships? Possessions? Things? And I'm telling you that what you spend your time thinking about, talking about, trying to get, trying to accomplish are things you value. Some people value traveling, and they want to travel everywhere in the world. They want to go to every state. They want to go to every country, and that's what they value, and that's what they talk about. And they take pictures, and they post the pictures, and they want to let everybody know where they've traveled, and they get a souvenir from every place, and they value traveling. And it can be just anything at all. And the Bible says if that's what you treasure, what you value, then that is where your heart is. And if your heart is anywhere but in the way of righteousness, then what you value will keep you from being in the will of God. Pastor, do you mean everything that I do has got to be about being in the way of righteousness? If you want to please God. Well, Pastor, I couldn't do anything but go to church. That's not true. Why do you work your job? Well, so I can pay my bills. Why do you pay your bills? Well, so I can have a place to live. Well, why do you need a place to live? Well, and the answer ought to be, so I can serve God. Hey, why do you have this possession? Well, so I can have fun. Anything wrong with having fun? Yes, there is. Give me your possessions and stop having fun. No. Fun in itself is not what life's all about. But friend, valuing fun is anything more than a means to the end, is putting your heart in a place that'll keep you out of the way. Let me put that in perspective very quickly. Do we need rest as human beings?
Yes.
Physically speaking?
Yes.
Hey, I've preached a message when Jesus sent his disciples to go and to get food. And when they came to him, they said, Master, eat. And he said, my meat is to do the will of him that sent me. And he said that he wasn't hungry, didn't need food. And they said, well, what? Did somebody give him to eat? And he said, it's good enough for me just to serve God. And I believe that's true. I do. But I do think that it's true in moderation. I wouldn't say don't go to sleep anymore. We could start a new cult, the non-sleepers. Probably wouldn't last more than a week or so, but it would be an interesting fanatical cult. And folks, if you follow me to the point of stopping sleeping, anyway, I'd be surprised if anybody here had that much lack of discernment. You understand what I'm saying. We need rest. Is recreation sometimes a good way to get our minds away from things so we can just rest and Lord can heal us in some ways and prepare us for a task? Yeah, it can be. But life isn't all about resting. And it's not all about having fun. And it's not all about working a job so that we can have a car, so that we can have a house, so we can have Saturday off, so we can go out boating or sit around reading a newspaper or whatever that we like to do, whatever we value, besides being in the way. And the Bible says the light of the body is the eye. And now pay attention to this word at the end of the next phrase. If therefore thine eye be single. Now what does single mean?
Uniform?
Beautiful?
No, uniform.
Uniform, okay, single, uniform. It means eligible, right?